Hello, I'm Pam of Healing Stars, and this is a chart set for the new moon, March the 1st, 2014, at virtually 8 o'clock in the morning in London. Now, this is a Pisces new moon. We've already had 10 days of the sun in Pisces, but now it's joining the moon. It starts the new month, so to speak, the astrological month, the seed time. And this is a very potent seeding time for healing. The reason being that the sun and moon at 10 degrees of Pisces up here in this violet sector of the chart are sandwiched between Neptune, where the sun met Neptune on Monday, and it's moving towards Chiron, the archetype of the wounded healer. Now, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, but also you could say it's the first sign, because it's the womb, it's where we've come from, the vast ocean of possibility and potential. So it's the 12th house in astrology, and it's appropriate that in London at the time of this new moon, the sun and moon are actually in what we call the 12th house, this large sector here in the chart, this final sector, before the birth moment, which is actually Aries here. Now Neptune, god of the ocean, is all-powerful, as we've witnessed with the power of the sea breaking down through rivers, breaking down walls and boundaries. Neptune usually takes a long time to dissolve things like cliffs. But we've noticed, of course, the flooding in the UK, and thank God it's now subsiding. But the emotions, of course, are still very strong. And sensitive Pisces, I mean, it really is the most sensitive of all signs, because it's like a sponge. It picks up everything that's going around, the psychic sponge. There are great gifts there, if you are a Piscean, in the ability to know and feel what other people are feeling. It's called the empath. But empathy, if you allow those feelings to affect you too much, can of course be overwhelming. This new moon is supported, totally supported, by Jupiter. Look at Jupiter here in Cancer, exactly the same degree, 10 degrees. Now, Jupiter has been travelling through Cancer since last July, and Jupiter will be moving forward, a good sign, next week, which is on the 6th of March. That's good news for anyone who's in the teaching or mentoring professions. Jupiter also governs the law. So it's the king of the gods, Jupiter, all-powerful. It has its dark side, it has its negative side, in being, I'm thinking I'm God, people like that, self-righteous. But it's also caring. Cancer is about caring for others, caring for family and the clan. Pluto, of course, I say of course because Pluto is opposite Jupiter at this time, rather the other way round, and Uranus, this T-square, see the red T-square, Pluto in Capricorn, royal blue, Uranus over here in red, Jupiter down here in this golden sector. These are creating a tension in the world, and that is building up until April. The other significant thing, though, let's look at this time now, is that Mercury, which has been retrograde for virtually all of February, is now moving forward at 18 degrees of Aquarius. So that is a good sign. The retrograde cycles that happen to every planet apart from the sun and moon, we are in the middle of a whole period of retrogrades. We've had Venus retrograde in January, Mercury retrograde in February, and now we're going to have Mars retrograde for the next 2 months virtually. So here's Mars over here in Libra, and you see the S means station, means it's about to move direction, as seen from Earth. So Mars is action, Mars is sexuality, Mars is how we get what we want, how we achieve that, how we go about it. And Libra is the sign of diplomacy. So we are being urged to be diplomatic. There is, as you can see, helpful allies, you could call them, at this time. Venus, where's Venus? Venus is to do with Mars. Venus and Mars are at a right angle at this moment of time. And that can be quite sexy because they are, of course, attracted to each other. It's not the most difficult of connections to have. And Venus, as you can see, is 26 of Capricorn. It's been in Capricorn all of January, since December 21st. I know because I have Venus in that sign. So Venus is about to move into the sign of friendship, of humanity, of brotherhood, which is Aquarius. Notice how the planets are kind of bringing out certain themes at this time. Capricorn is all about responsibility, about helping others, being of service to others. Aquarius, that connection of communities together, which we've seen. Anytime there's any problem in a community, and notice how that people do actually help each other out. And I do believe that that is what we're all here for, not to be isolated. Pisces, of course, is compassion. One thing I've noticed, and that is where Mars is in the sky. Mars is rising in the UK after sunset. See, it's about to set at this time of the morning. That's what planets do. They rise in the east, they go up, and then they set in the west every day. So Mars is actually in the constellation of Libra, and it's very close to the constellation, not the sign, but the constellation of Virgo. And it's very close to one of the brightest stars in the sky. It's called Spica. And this is the hand, the wheat sheaf, that the goddess holds. So Mars is connected to the goddess at this time. Mars is connected to the feminine energy and to this beautiful star called Spica. In Vedic astrology, it brings brilliance to any chart it touches. And actually, it can be very fortunate in Western astrology for winning the lottery, so I've heard, if it's significant in your chart. It's always the same. So this is a very, very interesting and healing new moon on Saturday morning. And the energy of Mercury's going forward, Jupiter's about to go forward, but Mars is going retrograde, and then also Saturn will go retrograde. It's a really interesting dance the planets are doing. So, 2 steps forward, 2 back. Now, Saturn goes retrograde every year. It's not unusual, but it is still in Scorpio, and it does bring up depression if it touches a part of your chart. You can feel confronted by people in authority. It's not a time to fight. It's a time for Mars to work its magic and basically, as I said, use Venus's energy, diplomacy, rather than aggression, which is the negative side, of course, of Mars. The other thing I've noticed is the nodes of the moon, which is to do with eclipses. And I'm using what we call the mean node, which has been used for centuries until recently. Some astrologers use the true node. But the south node in Taurus and north node in Scorpio, these are about to move sign for 1.5 years into Libra. They go backwards, and Aries. But that is another tale to tell. That's closer to the eclipses, which will start in April. So take care this weekend. Be kind to yourself and others. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com.